Yeah, no, no, I don't mean the power. I'm just saying.
Oh
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, I kind of. Yeah. Hey, is it 8 o'clock?
it lacks but 1 minute.
Oh, my.
Oh, now it is. Now
It
it
is
is.
8 o'clock. Hey,
It hit 8 o'clock here.
hey, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Okay, this is the. We're going to start. This is the Sunday night webinar, November 11th. It's Veterans Day, so thank you, veterans. And I'm Gene Colbago.
I am Roger Carroll.
And I hope we have some interesting things for you tonight. Kind of like as I was just saying before, every week, I know Raj and I scramble around looking for good things to show you, and I ran across a couple of things by accident that I'd like to show you today. Let's see if we can get started, okay? We're talking about we've been talking about the Office 365, and I see, as I was saying, Raj, we were talking about the handouts. I think Raj has something kind of that goes along with it tonight that I think you'll be interested in. But I was looking at Microsoft Word the other day, and I was wondering what was new. I don't know, by chance, I ran into a couple of things that you might be interested in, that you may not have seen before, and I'd like to show them to you. First of all, uh, what I would what I started out with was this. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about a tool on Office 365 called Sway and how it could be used for research and doing graphic presentations for the students really easily. And then I found something else on Word that might go along with that. Let me show you if I may. First of all, I'm going to put this up to save some time. Just as a matter of beginning, let's as a conjecture here. Say we have a student who is doing research, okay? And I just today picked a topic, Old Fort Niagara. And I did a little bit of research and I put it here. What I did was I just collected my notes and dumped them into Word, okay? I put a picture here and I put some data here and then this and this. Now, here is where I got that information from. I went up to, first of all, references. See where it says references up there? And there's a little thing there that says researcher. And if you click that, over on the right, a little sub window, whatever you want to call it, will open up. Now, I must tell you this. This is a tool that will help with research. However, it is more, how shall I put it, for the upper grades, okay? It brings back documents and so forth that are on the, higher academic levels. But what I did was I typed in Old Fort Niagara, okay? And apparently I have my caps lock on. And it brought me back, as you can see, a whole bunch of things here. Now, if you'll notice here, the sources can come for all, or just books, journals, or websites. I'm just going to click on websites, and most of these are websites. And it even pops up some relative topics. So, for example, what you can do if you're using this tool, or if your students are given a topic to do some research on, they can go in here, put it in, and let's just click on this one. And this gives you a little thing. Here's an overview, and it says read more, so I'm going to click on that, mainly because I did this before. And it got quite a bit of information on Old Fort Niagara. Now, here's what's kind of cool about it. I'm going to go down here to the bottom. Here's where my mouse is. You can see it there. And if I want to add something, just if I'm going down looking for notes and just at random, I find something I want. Say I like this. I highlight it. Notice a little window. I don't know. Can you read that, Raj? It says add and cite.
Yes, I can.
Yeah. And if you do that, it adds it to your Word automatically. Ask you if you want to create a bibliography. I'm going to say no thanks. But it actually cites the thing too.
If you did want to create a bibliography, what?
I had not tried. Okay, well, let's try it.
I'm just saying, for the heck.
We're shooting in the dark. Okay. I'm going to hit add and cite, create a bibliography. It goes to a separate page. And I don't know if oh yeah.
No, there it is. There, awesome.
Yeah.
And what's the format? It looks like
MLA.
Wow.
I'm not sure. No date. No, that might be APA. I'm not sure. But I bet you, if you did this and went into update, you could probably
it shows today's date that it was retrieved.
Usually that is APA. Okay. But if you go in here, I'm not sure. You could probably go in and change that to MLA.
Yeah. What's the little tab at the top?
There. Oh yeah. See up here, Roger.
There you go.
APA.
I see it.
Yeah. So if
you change it,
there you go.
Yeah. Bingo.
Oh, this is tough.
That's awesome.
Yeah, isn't it? I mean, this is set up a little bit for I guess higher grades. But boy, isn't that good? I typed in the word lion, like kids like to look up animals and things, and it did not really lend itself well, for the lower grades.
Yeah.
So that's
one of the long-standing discussions we've been having is, properly crediting sources, and we have all of that stuff, turn it in, and all these
sure
issues with plagiarism and so on. If we just show the students how easy it is to just tell us where you got it, that's all we want to know. Where you got it.
It created.
And now, you remember when we were in college, typing by hand.
Oh my God! I can remember my master's
trying to do bibliographies and
I kept the Whiteout Company alive for years.
For sure.
If you remember what Whiteout.
And what a remarkable invention Whiteout was.
Yeah.
Or discovery or whatever.
Yeah. But now, that is incredible. I thought that, that researcher tool is kind of interesting. It's, again, in case you didn't get it, it's under references and then researcher. But now, Raj, I found out something else. I just kind of put these notes together haphazardly, didn't I? So they're not really anything that a student would want to turn in to a teacher for a research report. So what I did at the end, let me close this off so it looks here. I went over to File, and strangely enough, there's a word over here. See this word transform? I had never seen this word.
I don't see it yet. Where?
Right there.
Wiggle your.
Right here.
Where's your?
It's over. Okay, let me see if I can make my screen bigger. It's over on the left. If you have, do you see the home, new, open, info?
Oh, okay.
Down on the bottom. Transform. Click this. Click this, he said. And it's over on here. It's opening.
Okay. That's a web page.
No, but it's not really. Transform your document into an interactive, easy-to-share sway. Isn't this cool? I never saw this before. And, all right, I'm just going to pick Sierra. You can pick all kinds of styles. And hit Transform. Boom. Open Sway. Come on. Don't do me wrong here, folks. Well, the background, what did I do? The background may not be the best there. I may have picked the wrong style, but this is now transformed into a sway.
So let me ask this next question.
yeah, don't please.
Hold on on the question.
Now yeah.
Now, if you sign in, you're on.
Yeah.
You sign into Office 365. Is this included in your Sways?
Okay, let's do this. I just closed it off, right? Mm-hmm. Let me go down.
Because your name is there in the upper right.
Here's my Sway.
Yep.
It was there. You know what? Hang on. It was on. It is on the online one. It did save it. Okay. Yes. The answer was yes. I had like 6 of them. Right?
Okay. Okay.
Let's see. Let's just see. Yeah.
It may take a bit to get.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah. No, it's not. It's not showing it here, but it did save it before. Okay. Maybe I closed it off too quickly. Well, I could do it again.
Well,
while you're doing it, yeah, but it does.
Instant.
Yeah, it does save it. And I'm very surprised it's not here right now, because it was saved in the Sways. And yeah, go ahead.
I say, what name does it save it as? It
doesn't really matter, not unless you gave it a name, I think. Yeah. You know, in fact, while you're doing your presentation part, I will check it out and double check, okay? But yes, it does save it, because I mean I had like 6 of them today that I erased. They're in my the ones that I deleted. And this, by the way, this is kind of a weird opening. I don't remember opening this way before.
So, this way?
Yeah. It usually shows them, and this is the.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. There. Maybe that's it, but it really, yeah. I don't know. Creating a Sway, yeah. Okay. So anyhow, yeah, that's kind of a cool thing, and it does save it. It does.
So we go from Word, research.
Yeah, Word.
Documentation.
Yeah, I just created.
Bibliography.
Then I went.
And then save as.
File.
Transform. As transform.
Transform. And it usually turns on this little thing here. We'll change it.
And again, you're using your Surface device, correct?
No, I'm using my online device, but I know what you're going to. I think I know what you're going to ask. Can you do this online with?
What's your online device?
The one I'm using like now is my Alien computer, but here it is here. Okay, I will go to Edit. Now, okay, Microsoft Sway, there's Edit, okay, Storyline, and it saved it before. So, but I think one thing I did want to show you, there it is, there they are now, Old Fort Niagara. There's all of my Old Fort Niagaras. See, there's the one I just did in red.
Well, I just started it on my computer.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do the same. Fort Niagara.
Okay, but now one thing I did want to show you is if you open Word online, I'll just go to a blank document online and go to File. Right. The transform is here as well, and it works as well. So it works online too.
So when you start you pick the topic.
Yeah. No, I just put the stuff on there. I just picked yes. Okay. Pick the topic.
So, go into Researcher, type Fort Niagara.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so there is a add topic as a heading, yada, yada, yada.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm missing a step here.
Okay, I'm sorry. Well, I'm hang on.
On researcher.
All right, researcher. Where are we here? References. Researcher.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm sorry. I just put in like right here. I was very, very simple. Old Fort Niagara.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Typed it in. Now.
And there it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then you can select down below. If you want.
Okay. That's the step I was missing.
Yeah, that's down below to make sure that these are just .org, .com. Here's a Canadian, things like that. Now, if you do this, this is also, let me just get my mouse, into a line there. Do you see it there? And see the little plus here. If you click this,
that's what I was looking at.
Update your on. Before, what it was doing, it was actually putting, now that's interesting. Before, what it was doing was putting the links there. Add this source as a citation. Okay, no, okay.
No, I'm still I'm still a step behind when you bring up the results of the search for Old Fort Niagara.
Okay.
Okay. Now, how do you get it over on your page?
Well, actually, what I was doing, all right, I went to, let's go here to get some text.
Right.
Okay. I highlighted the text.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And then it says add in site or just add.
Got it. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
And then usually after the add in site, you notice it didn't say about putting in a document again because it's been already put into my bibliography, so it didn't want to put it in again. I bet that's why. Yeah. But it's kind of, well, I mean, again, something to play with and, learn from, but I've never seen that before. I just happened to run onto that and I thought, gee, that's kind of interesting. And it might be something that could be used for research and things like that.
Well, more than might, should be.
Yeah, and this way, I mean, what I was thinking, is, the kids go through, I mean, they could use the researcher, they could use the whatever to get all of their notes just in Word. They don't even have to have them super organized. And then when they take it into a Sway, then they could organize the card. It kind of puts the cards.
Yeah, that was the next. Right, starts doing a sorting there.
Yeah, then you could organize the cards and put in things and add more pictures and so forth. Yeah, it would give you a really good basis for your research. So I just saw that and I thought, gee, that was kind of interesting.
So now we got this researcher in Word.
Yeah.
And the quick start in PowerPoint.
Yeah.
And the start a topic or search a topic in Sway.
Yes. Yeah.
All different options.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I think that, it's part of Microsoft's attempt to make things better for, in education,
well, and again, if you scale it skill-wise.
Sure.
Towards this one, where now we're talking about bibliographies or citing sources and formats and stuff, rather than just gathering information that you might get in, the other two, really.
And what's so cool about it too is down here in the bibliography. I mean, I know many times they're called works cited now rather than bibliography because bibliography generally is a book, but anyhow, God, I remember even after I retired, trying to be I was at Buff State and Trip for a couple of years as a, instructor, trying to teach kids how to cite and document. Yeah. This does it for you. You don't even need the son of citation machine.
Or citation machine, right? And all those,
yeah, it's built.
Really great tools, but here it's evolving.
Yeah, and it's right there. It's all there. It's phenomenal. And I mean the styles that I used to have a professor He was a nice guy in the world, and he was a social studies professor, and he had to write papers using the Chicago style. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Chicago style.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and there it is. And he would come in to the writing center where I was, and we would work on Chicago style because he didn't know it either. And we'd work together to try to figure it out. But yeah, does it for you. Does it for you. I think it's great. Hey, and with that, why don't I let you? I'm kind of excited myself to see what you're going to talk about because I have basic knowledge of what your topic is, and I'm looking forward to it myself. So
well, okay. Don't build your hopes too high.
Oh, right.
Hey, no.
Roger's going to make us experts on this, guys.
I'll explain as we go through this. There you go. Nothing.
There you go.
Nothing. No. Let me see if I can go here. No, that's not where I want to go. I wanted to start off with kind of a brief introduction, and actually, if I can we have a show of hands of people who have some fleeting knowledge of or working knowledge with Flipgrid? If you would just quickly raise your hand, use your dashboard. I see one hand. I don't know. That preceded my thing here. He's okay. Joe took his hand down.
Yeah.
Flipgrid.
Flipgrid is, what is that? It's cool.
It's getting a lot of play on the internet, on Twitter, on Microsoft, MIE, the Innovative Educators website, mainly because Flipgrid was recently purchased by Microsoft. And it was a standalone thing you do yourself. I'm searching for the best phrase to describe it, but it's an innovative tool. Think sort of like Skype. And it's a video sharing. And actually what I want to do is what everybody's appetite is for next week when we get together, Gene, I want another week to play with this, is before the actual webinar, I'd like to do a Flipgrid with the people who join us, say around 7:30, between 7:30 and 8. Do a Flipgrid so we can actually get a taste for it. I know teachers who have used it. I'm going to oversimplify it. In fact, on my page here, you're looking at my notebook, and I'm in the I have a Flipgrid page, but I haven't got a lot of resources here. But when I want on my page, and tonight's handouts, maybe I'll start there. In tonight's handouts, you'll see that there are 3 handouts. They all relate to Flipgrid. One is fairly lengthy. It's an ebook. It's for designed for teachers. It's it's recent, but I don't know if it's recent within the acquisition of Flipgrid by Microsoft. And if you look at your handouts on the right, there's actually I've created a PowerPoint about Flipgrid. It's a 1-slide PowerPoint, and then there's a teacher guide, and the teacher guide is 1 page, and the ebook is several. It's fairly lengthy, but they're both PDFs, so you can download, look at them, and get acquainted with yourself on Flipbook. What I did over here, and I just threw this into my notebook. I've got to move it out of the way of my dashboard here. This is a very quick how to use Flipgrid. Very simply, let me minimize some things here, and I'll give you the idea. I don't know if it's still open on my browser here. Now, let's go to Flipgrid. I'll tell you, I was having trouble with it today because I was missing a key understanding of Flipgrid. Flipgrid was free. Now it's full featured. All the features of it are free and have been brought into the Microsoft suite of available tools. Let's say you want to I'll give you an example. I can't really show it because I can't share the audio with you, but you're reading a short story or a book in class, or a passage from your reading book, and you can go into Flipgrid. You as a teacher, you create it, and you might ask a question. Say this is active. This is what I want to show you. These are my topics. I create one for the Sunday night webinar, and you share it out here, and you set some of the parameters of your Flipgrid. You create a video. You use this is me. This topic is moderated. This is me. Earlier today, you can dress up. You could do, this is sort of like a selfie, and you create a video, and it's an audio video, and you share out a topic for this week and next week. The one I was playing around with was, well, what is your favorite technology in classroom? You as a teacher or you as a student would get a code and access this prompt, and then record yourself responding to the question, whatever it happens to be. So this is a very general one that they use to introduce Flipgrid workshops and so on. So this would be me. If I play it, you could get access it. In fact, I think I put it into, it might be worth trying here, Gene, if in the background. If we look at the PowerPoint that I downloaded, or I actually uploaded. Now I'll download it so you can see it. I did this in obviously Office 365, and it's a one-screen Flipgrid. And I'll play it because this is all it is here. And when you create your Flipgrid, you have several ways of sharing it out. One way, of course, obviously, is a QR code. There is a link. This is not a link because this is an image, so it's not clickable if you do download this PowerPoint. But so you'd have to key in the information to give you a code and so on. This is a live link to that video you just saw briefly a few minutes ago. It does a very quick explanation, but I thought a fairly thorough explanation of what Flipgrid is all about. These are the symbols. You can get Flipgrid. This is the symbol. If you put it on your smartphone, on your iPhone, this is a symbol of the app here. This is kind of its icon here. Gene, if you did any of these, it's kind of like creating a form. And in Microsoft Office, you create a form, you send it out, people respond to it, whether it's a poll, a quiz, or a test, or a survey, or something of that nature. You get it back, and then you, as the instructor, get to review the various responses in the Flipgrid, just as you review the responses in submitted form. So, Gene, if you've got your phone, you can do this real quick. If any of you do, in fact, this is what we're going to try out next week prior to the webinar. We'll create another Flipgrid. Also, if you, between now and next Sunday night, get ambitious, find some time, get interested enough to find and try a Flipgrid, you could share it with us next week as well as an example of it. People do them as book reports. People do them as introductions. There's a thing. Like little kids could share it out, and parents could look at their Flipgrid. We have to be aware of maybe some of the permissions that we need from our students in our classroom. But within the classroom, this is just another way of sharing things. This link, I'll click on it. It takes us to a YouTube, which was actually embedded Free Technology for Teachers, or Eric Byrne, one of our favorite resources. This fellow, it's just it's goes back a couple months, but this is a quick explanation, I think a pretty good one, of what is behind a Flipgrid, what it's all about, and so on. And this, again, here is you would click and look at that video to get more information about it. So again, if you you'll be able to check some of those out, use that code and so on. If you do test it out, it will come back to me because I created the Flipgrid, and get a chance to sample some of your responses. I must tell you, it took me several takes to do my side of it. I was not sure where to look on the camera. When I come back into let's see if we go to the Flipgrid here. This isn't easy to do. I don't know. I'm probably not really good at selfies and things, but where to look, and then the video plays. So I had to train myself and not step on my toes and so on. But here are some things that you have full feature. It's completely free. They have a number of resources. You can add music, you can add special effects. Here I just added a little sticker. Coming week, I might extend that and shared it out. But you have all of those things there. But it's another way of, I think, certainly engaging kids. They love to do this. There are some background videos. You could do a Flipgrid of kids looking at, maybe if it's in a science or a STEM class, looking up a prompt and responding to it, telling what they observed, and sharing back and forth with this. So it's another part of the collaboration and communication that we talk about in 21st century learning. Any observations here, Gene, on
well, I went in
what you see? Notice I have no response.
I went in, and are you there? Oh boy. Hey, Raj, can you hear me now?
Tonight's webinar, there's some good information there, and of course you could go into Google all kinds of examples of it. I think there's some out there on Pinterest and all over the place, but there's a whole lot of places where you could get some more information, and it's very quick. I don't know, you have to probably do a little more hand holding in the much younger grades on how to do it. You might do one collectively, create a Flipgrid. But I'm thinking there are a whole lot of ideas out there on where you can incorporate it into some instruction, maybe as a culminating unit. It might be something that you do as a Flipgrid, when you introduce a topic. What do you know about whatever the topic has to be, an animal or a part of the country or an event or, subtopic, and the kids could share out what they know about it by way of a Flipgrid. So it's a way the kid doesn't have to stand in front of the class or stand up and extend themselves that way. This is something that they could all do personally and privately. It's kind of a little bit like some of the things we talk about in teams as well.
Raj, I have been dropping off. You've been talking, I know you mentioned something to me before, and I've been dropping in and out, so it goes out for a few seconds and comes back. So I just want to let you know that I am not trying to ignore you.
Well, you're still getting the screen. I said,
yeah,
I was wondering
now
if you
everything's
had any...
good. And you had asked before, and I had used your QR and had gone in and had viewed your particular video, you know, the one that you had put on there. Yeah. And now, from what I can see is, if you go to Flipgrid, you can put in that code, and you can then create your own video. Is that correct?
But then you would be able to respond to that prompt within this. So I asked the question. Yeah, you would record yourself for that. Then I would get a indication back down here, down in this area here below the screen, that was viewed and that there was a response and some feedback.
Now, will other people be able to view those? I mean, are they like
if they have the code. When you start creating it, and this is one of the things we'll talk about next week, you have a number of options on how strictly you want to regulate who can see this.
Yeah, kind of like Padlet in a way.
Have to be signed in.
Yeah.
And a simple sign-in might be their Microsoft Office sign-in. They would use that, and then they would that would get them in after enter the password or the code or wherever it happens to be.
I see.
So there's a lot of control over it, much like we do with blogs and so on.
Yes.
And they are fully editable and so on. Now this, if I refresh this, I know it'll tell me that you viewed it or not. No, I don't know.
No responses. No, I did not respond. I did view.
Yeah. Okay. But it generates a code. Now, if I view this as a student, this is another thing that was throwing me off today a little bit. If I click here, this is what the student will see. And your voice is awesome. Share it, moderated. So this is the student view. Notice this, Gene.
Yes. Oh, golly.
This is the beauty of Microsoft taking this product into its realm, is that the immersive reader is now active for what's going on here. I'm not sure what's going to view here. Let's take a second. Here you go. It takes that text and statement and puts it into the immersive reader. So there's a whole lot of accessibility issues that are addressed with this as well. We're starting to see that immersive reader everywhere.
Interesting.
As they refine it and so on. Yeah. And notice, I mean, I'm not sure yet. I've got some more learning to do.
Now,
what kind of data information I'm going to get from this as well. When you create the Flipgrid, you can determine how long a response can be given in terms of seconds or minutes. I think it's like 10, 20, 30, 40. I think I created mine for 45 seconds. If you're going to respond to this, you have 45 seconds. It's like that amount of space.
Now, it
doesn't sound like much, but it really is really too long for some of the prompts and so on.
Now, Raj, you were saying that if a student logs in, this is what he or she would see. Is this correct?
Once you give them the code and they go to that, I think if they just use that, click on that link.
Yeah.
However you share it out. Yeah. You could share it out in a Teams.
Yeah. Yeah.
In a notebook within a Teams, and here's the link, and it would take them to this.
Now, how do they go about adding their Flipgrid?
Well, this is what I think. There's a variety of devices in it comes back to you. And then you would share, you as the teacher,
mm-hmm.
then you would be sharing them all. Here's Billy's response.
Okay, yes, but now,
Mary's response.
I see. Okay.
Like that.
Now, do they create it right in Flipgrid? Create their response?
Right. I think might be right here.
Okay.
Students would click that. They would log in with their Microsoft.
Yeah.
And then it may act here. Here I am. We're just seeing what's going on. If you can see all of this. Now this might turn on my camera, and you'll see me live right now as though I'm a student. Oh, here it is.
Yeah, it says the allow.
Okay. Yes, I know that. We're gonna. So here's the here I am live. Oh, scary me. Here's the record button. So this is this is the student view. Notice up here there's a little measuring, and you want to see the green. So it's picking up from my microphone and all that stuff. Hello, everybody. I'm going to get rid of this real quick, but I'm sorry too. Here at 45 seconds is how much recording time I have to respond to the prompt. And I can add, there's some little tool. So I think you go through, that's me having a migraine. You could click the mouse, and so I'm going to get rid of this real quick.
Yeah, when you stop it with the red button.
But yes. What about it?
Okay, you stop it with the red button.
Well, the red button was started.
Oh, how do you stop it? With
the the red button becomes a square button.
Okay, now.
And then you click the square button. That stops it.
Okay,
so
now how do you flip it? In other words, send it to you, the teacher. Is that little flip?
I get it immediately.
So it's automatically done. So They better know what there are no redos.
There are. Well, I haven't been on that side of it. Yeah. There are plenty of redos for me recording.
Yeah. Oh, I understand.
And that's an option. Redo, trash, review. Yeah. Well, again, tune in next Sunday night early.
Yeah, we'll work on it some more.
We'll take you through the whole thing, and really, I will share some out and get some responses and so on. If you do happen to, you want to respond to mine, go right ahead. The basic question, what's your favorite technology in your classroom? And then 45 seconds or less, you get to talk about it. Or when you create it, you can change, and I go into edit here. If you look over here, here is where you can set the time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My goodness, you could create a whole Netflix thing here. Okay, we'll just leave it. But when we're going to take you through it. This is fairly well documented. I spent a good portion of the day making mistakes in here and trying it out. Most of it was around the recording aspect of it, but you'll notice this is fairly intuitive.
Sure.
Talks about all the different options you take and so on, but I think it's a quick way to get kids engaged using their devices. What I don't know is the state of technology in the district. Do all students on their student devices have a camera? I know we do on our teacher devices. I think the newer ones that they're rolling out and distributing this year, and so I also have that ability as well. I believe it's just a front-facing camera, which is what this would use anyway. But again, looking at this screen, you can see everything that you do is editable. And then if I change the time and so on, I'd update it. It should not regenerate. It did not regenerate a new code number. But that was where some of my issues were as well, working with the code and the access to the password and that stuff. But I think, like any of this stuff, you do it a couple of times, you're pretty much expert in it.
Exactly.
It's a matter of seeing where you can do it. You can do it from your iPhone. You can do it from an Android device. So it's a fairly universally, it has been universally used. There are a host of resources available. I think now more so because Microsoft has taken it over, that you can use in ideas for use and so on. And it's fun. So why not? It's using the technology. I think it addresses a whole lot of 21st century skills that we're interested in. Some resources at the bottom of the page for teachers, for students. Here you go. There's a teacher guide there. I think that might be the one I downloaded. I'm not sure. But again, you can't break anything. You can waste a good amount of time, as I did. Well, I don't think it was wasted. I'm learning from my mistakes more than I am from my successes these days. I started following these two guys on Twitter just so I get more and more information, up-to-date information, and so on. So that's where we are with Flipgrid. Again, next Sunday, prior to the webinar, probably during a portion of the webinar, we'll readdress Flipgrid as a tool in the classroom. And I'd be interested in the feedback. Try it this week, and then join us again early next week, and we'll do it live. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
A whole bunch of stuff here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty popular. I'm sure some teachers around the district have tried it, maybe just on their own. It's not Instagram. It's not, any of those social media things. This is within the confines of your classroom. So just see what happens. Look, wow. I'm going to come back and look at this later tonight or tomorrow to see what's going on here with these replies and responses and so on.
Okay.
So there you are, sir.
Okay. Well, it looks like again. A lot. Oh boy.
I'm going to take another look at Microsoft Photos. You're back, Gene?
I'm back, I think. Yes, I'm back.
Well, you are back.
Yeah, I'm now back to Microsoft Photos, yes.
Yeah, I just want to, I saw something this week. Again, we're approaching that time of the year where personally, maybe within the class, maybe start doing some things that might be nice to have a photographic record of these. And we've talked about this before, Gene, but the tools that Microsoft is coming up with are just absolutely amazing for simply creating some videos. Here are from my recent trip. I wanted to put these together in kind of a collage for a very quick video. So I go into my select mode. I will select all 13 of these. I'm using, again, Microsoft Photos. I go select all of them. And then, what else do? You just hit up at the top of your taskbar, your toolbar, you click Create. I want to create an automatic video with some music. And let's just call it like Elmo demo. Let's just, okay. And it's putting together some special effects. I don't know if you could hear it in the background. Here's a title I typed in.
Very faintly, yeah, but yes.
Very faintly. Mm-hmm. You can remix it. In other words, you can change the appearance, you can change the videos.
Now I can hear it. Yeah, now you can hear it better. Yes.
I'd probably stick with this one. And if I come down here, I can edit the video. I can physically rearrange when and where these appear, change the order of them, and so on. We talked about some of these effects last time. We talked. I don't know.
Some time ago.
Back in the spring, because I recognized one of my previous mixes here. Something new called 3D effects,
mm-hmm.
And we're seeing 3D effects from a number of other programs. I think even you can do some 3D effects in now in PowerPoint, which I'm
yes,
I want to find out more about there. I tried to use some of these effects in the video from last spring. I was using some things. This is a campfire. They've added some different effects and so on. I don't know, confetti blast. I'm not sure. I don't want to mess with this right now. I want to do it more where I can really make some mistakes with it. Let's just say, it should put some confetti in right here. I don't know if you can. There you saw the confetti shoot up in that frame. So there's a number of options here. I imported all of these from the camera I used was on my my phone, and so how do you get the images from your phone here, which is my computer, my desktop? I used like an intermediary. Still use Dropbox. You could even use your cloud drive, your OneDrive or something, but I have a folder on my Dropbox where I throw some video in, and then I just brought them up here into, let me go back here. There's a option on the main screen to import. If it's video, you import the video or import photographs and so on. So this is a handy tool. Again, I'm probably using it more personally, obviously, than I am professionally, but you could take things like a field trip, and if you're recording a field trip or some presentation at school or some work that you're doing with students, you could do that and use this to very quickly create something nice and presentable and share that out. So that's what got us this far, Gene. I don't know if you want to throw in some stuff.
Well, I have 8 minutes if they don't kick me off.
Okay.
Hey, no, I just want to remind people of one thing that we've talked about once or twice before. So if you want to do that, we could take a quick look. And I'm going to go back to Word. I'll go back here. If we have a blank document, first of all, this is the time of year that we're going to start looking for 2019 calendars for things. But what I guess the point I'm trying to make is when you go into these tools, like especially Word, PowerPoint, things like that, you don't have to go in and create all of these new templates and ideas yourself. A lot of them are already pre-made. We've mentioned this before, and I'd like to show you 2 ways to get to find some of these resources that you can download and use. If you go to File when you're in Word, now mine is a little different because I have my own personal one running and it's not quite the same. But up at the top, you'll see a thing that says Templates, okay? And basically, it will take you to a page that looks like this, and you can select, up at the top, topics, areas like education, calendars here. But what you might want to do, let's see if I can find it real quickly, is there is a site, strangely enough, called templates.office.com. And if you go there, there are thousands and thousands of templates arranged in various ways so that you can download them and use them in your tools. For example, here's calendars. Notice that they have a 12-month calendar. This is in Excel. Many of these calendars, well, you say, well, I want a Word. Here's a PowerPoint. Okay, well, we'll show you how. Here's one, 2019, 12-month, Sunday through Saturday. Here, the Sunday is first Saturday. That's in Word. Okay, and then you can go in and if you need a calendar, you can print download these, print these out. There are any number of these that you can do. And again, up on top, they show you some basic categories. And if you keep going down, you'll see things like this one I like. Certificates. The only thing that drives me nuts about the certificates is most of them are in PowerPoint. And strangely enough, the PowerPoint product is one that does not have the mail merge, so that you almost have to go in and put the names in one at a time. I don't know why they use PowerPoint for many of them. There are some certificates that are in Word. Anyhow, let me just go back one step. But going down the list, if you go down, you'll see favorites by app. You can go into Word. I want Word templates. Music flyer, fashion brochure. Here's a template, a congratulation template. And you can download these real easily. Shapes, things like this. Things like this. This might be, something like this might be a nice thing for your students. Take a picture of your student and, like at the beginning of the year, get to know about them. You may want to change some of the topics, but come up with some topics of your own to get to know your students. Again, as you go down, they have featured templates, and then if you just jump in, here's all kinds of different topics here. Christmas, if you were into Christmas, coming up, holidays. And again, certificates, all of the various certificates. They have 3 pages worth of different certificates. And there are some Word certificates here. Okay? So you can download these. You don't have to create them yourself. You can just go to templates.office.com and get them yourself. One thing that I was going to cover, and I didn't get to it this week, is if you do download, say in Word, a certificate like this one. There are several here. This one, and you have like 30 kids. How can you get the computer to fill in the names for you? We were talking just a minute ago about mail merge, and I know many of you are familiar with it, some of you aren't. So maybe next week we'll take 5 or 10 minutes and go over a mail merge and show you what you can do with, say, a certificate. You can write letters to parents with a mail merge, one letter, and it will fill it in for all of your parents. Save you a lot of time. And with that, speaking of time, we've almost reached the magic hour, and we just want to remind you of 2 things. First of all, as we said at the beginning, if there are veterans who are joining us tonight, we want to thank them for their service. And in 1 hour or so, you will be receiving a thank you note for joining us tonight. Please let us know if you have any questions, concerns, whatever, by opening up the thank you note and clicking on the survey link inside and filling it out. It only takes a minute or 2, and we'd be very, very glad to have you do that. So with that, I think we're going to say goodnight, Raj. And
I'm going to say in 1 minute, people, and most of us living in Niagara Falls, will hear the cascade of fireworks.
I thought I saw on the internet that they had canceled that tonight.
They canceled last night, so I don't know. Did they cancel tonight?
I thought I had seen canceled again.
You hear a lot of booming.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the reasons I'm coming home. I did want to see that. I did remember going to Toronto years and years and years ago when they had that competition, and it's phenomenal. So if you do get a chance to get out and see it, I recommend that you do. Okay, but I'm not sure
tonight. You can see it next weekend. Weekend.
Yeah, and the big one is that when you have the finale, when all of the countries get together and do their little show. Oh, unbelievable. If you get a chance, do go see it. And maybe I'll stay on for a minute and see if I hear any noises. Actually, last night I did watch some of them. Channel 4 had them live, and I got on the Channel 4 app and saw them. And with that, hey, I don't want to keep you people. Thank you very, very much for joining us, and we hope you have you have a day off tomorrow, I take it, and have a great week. Hope to see you next week. We'll be talking about Flipgrid, mail merge, a few other good things. So join us, please. Good night.
All right. And again, look for the survey in about an hour's time, and please respond to the survey questions and suggestions. And someone has reported that they started hearing the fireworks. Thank you, Matthew.
Oh, good. So it is on. Oh, I'm
all righty then. Okay.
Good. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
All right, I'm going to turn on my pad right now. Good night.